Josh Lane is not happy, but he's going to have his chance to prove it. He's got 8 laps to prove that he needs to be the winner.
Josh Lane is going to be even more fired up if that were possible.
Couple drivers at the tail of
yes,
the field.
They are.
A lot of drivers dying out here.
Doesn't matter, folks. Go wave your hand because we're going racing here right now, folks, and we're underway. Green, green, green.
Great start by Jake French. Josh Lane gets to the outside to move into second. Connor Wagner racing with Kinnear, and they go spinning in one. Their front half of the field gets going. The back half not so lucky.
That was all for one driver who overcooked it down the inside, tried to tube too much, drove into the side of Scott Barnes, drove Barnes off the wall. That was one guy trying to do for too much in the first corner.
Yep, good start, though, for the front half of the field as Jake French pulls away. Now Josh Lane's going to lead him down back into the infield section of the track here along the city. As we had a couple carts stalled there, Jake French leads. Now it's Josh Lane to the inside and 6 in the hairpin. Josh Lane, your new leader.
Lane to P1 already, and you said it straight up, Ken. If he needed any more motivation, he got it when he did not see that driver get pushed off the racetrack. He is fired up, and he wants to go out and win this one.
That was a great move by Josh Lane. He set the pass up very well on the entry into turn 6. He's now your leader. And guys, if Josh Lane has anything to say about this, he is going to put the hammer down and check out. He's got 7 laps to go here.
That was my call from the beginning. I knew Lane, obviously motivated by the fact that he lost that lap, or lost that race, but he also feels he's got a really good race car right now.
Well, as a lawyer, before I came doing the carding stuff that I do, I can very much see his point, and if I was having to take his brief, that's the point I'd be saying, hey guys, if you're applying the law, you've got to apply it to everybody.
I agree, and I believe LSGP officials are starting to take a look at it. I don't want to speak too early, no disqualifications certainly, but LSGP officials are taking a look at the rule right now.
They're coming around the corner here. Great little start here for Lane as he leads it through the kink. First time by the stripe, or second time by the stripe, almost a second advantage. Lane over French. Jack Prix runs in the third spot. Good start here for the young driver. Jack Prix up into third here ahead of Wagner and Cook.
Hey, good run for Sabre Cook also, as we see her sitting 5th on the monitor right now. She works up 2 spots in the first 2 laps, and she occupies the top 5 right now.
Sabre Cook into the 5th position after starting 7th, but Josh Lane out front in the number 44, the DRT Racing DR cart. You see him control that, Ken? He's got that coming through turn number 5. He's got that little drift, super controlled. The car's getting a lot of forward bite.
Wow.
God, he looks good through 5.
You know, when we talked about being fired up, if the fire up and the adrenaline push is one thing, but then if you're too snatchy, you've got to just tone it down. But of course, making that early pass was probably just the settling point. We've got yellows, we've got waved yellows.
From our vantage point there, we weren't able to see where the driver off the racetrack was in turn number 1, but the corner worker's obviously jumping right to it to make sure that track goes back to green as soon as possible.
So Josh Lane getting a great start, falls into second from that inside row number 2 position, and he's working really well right now, pulling away from French.
And one of the things now we throw in the mix is closing up on lap traffic. That's going to be a key here. Remember, lap traffic in a Chonda or in one of the Yamahas, a little slower. The closing rate so much more in a shifter car that these drivers are going to be precise when they decide to make the move by.
And the guys he's going to lap are not coming in single drive. There are several of them grouped together, so this is really quite a challenge.
48.290 for Lane last time by. French's best lap of 48.6, so about 0.4 of a second quicker is Lane than French. Jack Prix, Connor Wagner, and Miss Sabre Cook occupy your top 5 right now as we are just about to reach the halfway point, lap 4 of 8.
And race leader getting a lot of spray into his face right now. This is not something that he wanted to have, but he's picked them all off of these back markers in the big group bar 1. And here is going to be, well, there you see, one of the drivers getting a little bit of a drift, didn't let him through.
So Jake French gets around a lapper on the exit of 5 as they now roll through 6 around the courthouse. Here they come. Laps, corners 7, 8, 9 as our head starter gets the crossed flags ready to show.
And Josh Lane has got clear track in front of him now.
Yeah, Josh did a great job coming through there. Not so much for Jake French. He had some trouble there for sure.
So we're at the half race distance. This is an 8-lap final. We're on lap 5 of an 8-lap race. Josh Lane's advantage 0.9 of a second at the front of this one.
A little bit of contact, someone slapping the barriers, but they keep rolling, obviously not a big issue. As we continue past the halfway point here in Stock Honda Light, Josh Lane goes faster again, 48.290.
Let's have a look at your top 10, folks. Lane leads, French in second, Prix running in third, Connor Wagner now 4th, Sabre Cook in the 5th spot, Bryce Cornet now running in 6th position. Currently 7th is Taze Flores. Then it's Ben Schermerhorn, Jimmy McNeils, and Miles Marat, your top 10.
It's a solid top 10 here in the stock Honda Light, guys, and only a couple laps remaining as our starter has the 2 to go. The sticks are shown to Josh Lane. Jake French not far back, but he does have a little bit of work to do if he wants to catch up here. Josh Lane, the best part about Lane right now is how well he's getting around the lap traffic as they go through 1. They head down the short chute to 2. Josh is making such quick work of these lappers.
But it's
right
not
now.
easy, Tony. It's not straightforward. He's having to pick off these guys. Very few of them. Why would they? Having to sort of move over to the complete width and say, go by, sir, go by. Not so. He's having to pick his way carefully. And when drivers making mistakes that he's got to take into account, this has not been easy threading through these back markers.
What
Definitely.
a beautiful move there. Dove straight to the apex in turn number 6. That driver you can see setting up, he went straight to the apex to make sure that he knew that he was there.
All right, Josh Lane going to come out of turn 9 here one last time. He's going to see the white flag in the air. Folks, we've got 1 lap of racing left in the Lone Star Grand Prix, and Josh Lane wants to lead that lap. He is out in front here with stock Honda Light. He's coming up on lappers. Jake French doing everything he can. I just don't know if he has enough time. Josh Lane dives to the inside. He's trying to get around that lapper. Let's see if he can do it.
Wow, that lapper was unbelievably slow. He was well off the pace.
Yeah, and he was down very low off the racing line. Maybe just he thought Lane was going high. Lane ended up picking the bottom line.
He had no idea he was even there.
Regardless, Josh gets around him fine. Exit of 4. Now they head for 5. Back into the city, the downtown aspect. He gets underneath another lapper through turn 6. Here they come. He heads for the courthouse one final time, folks. Lane in 7, comes through 8. He'll head for 9. Folks, picking up and unseating Jake French, your winner in stock Honda Light, Mr. Josh Lane. Wild Thing scores the win in the 44. He feels redeemed, I'll bet you, after the open 125 incident. Of course, he'd still like that win, but he definitely has to feel redeemed after losing that first race.